Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Africa. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania with the South African election just days away, today being the 12th of May, 2024, and the election on the 29th. Things are really heating up. The legacy media really going out of their way to bring up topics that aren't germane to most South Africans. On the cusp of a national election, who exactly are these tone-deaf media outlets trying to impress? The gullible? Rubes? In a story posted online, Black Business Council Chief Executive Kanki Matabane this week painted a bleak picture of how Black industrialists were abused and hung out to dry in some Black Economic Empowerment Deals, or BEE. This should be entertaining. Quoting Mr. Matabane, some of these partnerships work, but most do not. Also, these deals depend on the intentions of the big brothers, referring to the big multinationals that control these BEE partnerships. Now, let me translate that for you. The white Western racist. Now, that's what he's implying here. He goes on, if you're a BE partner and you ask too much and want to know what is rightfully yours, they quickly get rid of you, knowing there is someone waiting in your shoes. Some of these big brothers are genuine and they want to implement transformation, while others are just for profits. To some, it's a tick box exercise so they can get business. Well, of course, they're just for profits. It's the whole purpose of being a business, to generate a profit. And rightfully yours, what exactly have you built? Holding companies are not value added. They want to implement transformation. Again, in translation, this means handing out equity, either gratis or undervalued as a consequence of the shakedown. The ultimate goal of BE is not to uplift poor Black South Africans, but to transfer the hard-earned wealth of others to a small group of parasites who rely on political connections and name-calling for their success, not their business acumen. He went on. They come up with complicated structures and they pay themselves huge management fees, control the entire value chain, and remit profits back home. But in financial reports, they declare losses. That's how some of these big international companies operate in these BEE deals. And that's any more morally reprehensible than shaking down companies because of white liberal guilt for equity and handing the stakes to people who did nothing. Now, he said this left the BEE partner without even dividends and at the mercy of their BEE creditors. So why are patronage favored Black-owned companies not entrepreneurial? Why do they not invest in startups? Why do they not generate wealth rather than carve into existing wealth vehicles built by others? People who sweat equity created successful companies, created jobs, paid taxes, and advanced society. In other words, rather than form holding companies and demand equity stakes and sit back with collecting income, how about you actually do something productive? By his own comments, Black Business Council Chief Executive Kanki Matabane appears to be describing BEE companies as leeches, not businesses, expecting passive income, not wealth creators. Tshedso Matona, the head of the BEE Commission, said that BEE was a mixed bag. To totally say BEE has failed is not true. Yes, there are problems, but some deals are working well, and even we have Black billionaires from these deals. We now have Black entrepreneurs who own 100% stake in companies and are even supplying government. And we have Blacks who are company directors. Well, isn't that a sign of success? The right skin color in the front office. No, it's not. It's window dressing, unless that's an effective administrator or director. So what Black entrepreneurs? What have these entrepreneurs invented, funded, developed? We even have Black billionaires from these deals. Well, of course you do. Handing equity to connected ANC stalwarts will not create billionaires. Well, it will create billionaires at the neglect and expense of all South Africans, that is. Black entrepreneurs who own 100% stake in companies are even supplying government. Seriously? Is that your sign of success in business? Supplying an inept, thieving government a sign of success? No, it's not. It's patronage, just in a different form. No, that is not success. Fielding new medical techniques, building houses, creating new applications, providing competitive retail outlets. These are examples of things any entrepreneur will be doing, not supplying government. And folks, therein lies the major problem with this corrupt, racist patronage system. Ignorance. A complete and likely willful ignorance of what an entrepreneur actually is. Entrepreneurs are not government teat suckers. They're creators and risk takers. And that does not describe BEE. Now, the National African Federated Chamber of Commerce, that's a mouthful, NAFCOC, I didn't make that up, whose membership is mainly Black, said its problems were within itself. Let's do some honest introspection. But listen to what the problems are. There's been a long-standing leadership wrangle within NAFCOC, which has resulted in its membership losing out on BEE deals. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. There's too much greediness in NAFCOC. Members are fighting each other and jealousy of one another. Some members are desperate to the extent that they sell out and backbite others just to get BEE deals. This then works to the advantage of the big international companies as they exploit the divisions among us, said a NAFCOC senior official who was even afraid to give his name out of fear of being assassinated. He gave the example of an African bank deal, saying some NAFCOC members were left out because of the leadership infighting in the organization. Now, folks, there's only one description for NAFCOC and for this entire BEE concept: pigs at the trough. These are not inventors. They're not creators. They're not risk takers. Rather, they are patronage puppies taking advantage of proximity to power, leveraging their good fortune to have sufficient skin pigmentation under a racist government obsessed with impoverishing South Africans. And this is comical that this actually makes the news in South Africa in the build up to an election. Do they actually think that South Africans are that stupid? Well, apparently they do. I mean, look at the African National Congress when it goes to the Northern Cape and holds in Imbizo. And they tell people who come there, who receive food parcels from the ANC, but they have nothing to do with the election, of course, just 3 weeks before the election. But they tell them that on May 15th, the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, will receive his last paycheck as president. It's up to you to get him back in office so that he receives his next paycheck in June. As if the concerns of a man handed over $200 million of equity he did not earn, living a comfortable life of luxury with police escorts, blue lights, luxury, Pala Pala game ranches, cattle, everything under the sun, as if his welfare is the responsibility of impoverished Northern Cape Black South Africans. The ANC, the media, the media is owned by the ANC. One can make that argument. The owned media, the legacy media, and the ANC are completely tone deaf to the real situation in South Africa. Can the opposition rise up and convince South Africans to vote for them? I don't know. We'll see. Thanks a lot. BEE, cheated by the international partners. Footsec. Go create something and then come back to the table.